It's a big day for the franchise. It's a big day for the game of baseball. One of the game's most exciting and best talents deciding to make San Diego his home, hopefully for his career. The contract process really started January 3rd. I flew down to the Dominican Republic. I got in the car with Cesar Rizik and Chris Kemp, who oversee our international department. And on the drive from Santo Domingo, just outside of San Pedro, where Fernando makes his offseason home, we just talked about three different paths. And we talked about we could go year to year. We talked about potentially a multi-year deal in which we were to buy out a year or two of free agency. And we talked about a long-term contract in which Fernando hopefully would be a Padre for his career, and we would have him under contract throughout his 20s and his 30s. And in talking, we talked about the positives and the negatives of those situations in that car ride. And Chris talked about the day before he was at the Park in the Park, which is the area outside of Petco, in center field, and he's walking around looking at the statues of Trevor Hoffman and Tony Gwynn, and just thinking about their legacy, what they meant to the city of San Diego, what they meant to the Padre fan base, what they meant to the game of baseball. And we just talked about that third option. When you have a talent as exciting as Fernando, Chris started talking at a statute contract and talking about what that meant to the city and the franchise, and that Fernando may have a chance to, with the type of contract, may have a chance to one day be out there like Tony and like Trevor, and build his own legacy. That day in San Pedro, we talked about a lot of high level things. We talked about the organization, talked about the farm system. We talked about our scouting philosophy, talked about ownership. We talked a lot about what was important to Junior in this whole process, talked a lot about leadership, talked about his vision for the organization, and how we can be better as a group and as a franchise. And these things really only work when everybody's on the same page. And I think we left that meeting feeling like we were really, there was a lot of common ground amongst everybody. A week later, I think that was confirmed when Danny Lozano, Roger Tomas from the MVP group gave us a call. And, they had talked to Fernando about the different possibilities and what he was interested in. And it was very clear he was interested in option 3, long-term commitment from the Padres. He wanted to be one of those very unique players that plays his career in one spot. He loves the franchise, he loves the city, he loves his teammates. And he talked a lot about, really wanting to get on that path of that statute contract. So at the same time, I was having conversations with Peter Seidler, and our motives were very much in line. We made what we felt was a super aggressive 12-year concept. Danny didn't think it was quite as aggressive as we did early. And in typical Toddy fashion, his only real comment was, why not my whole career? And as we got to thinking about things, we obviously shared in that same thought process. And we're here today. I think, one, it speaks to the strength of the organization and what's been built over the last 5 years. And I think it definitely speaks to Fernando's vision and his spirit and what he wants to do with his career. The building process really started 5 years ago with the trade of James Shields to the White Sox for Fernando. The scouts that had an opportunity to see Fernando as a player before he played his first professional game, Nick Ennis, Pete DeYoung, Fred Yeoman, Spencer Graham, they came back with very consistent messages. This was a 5-tool talent who showed aptitude and instinct on the field. Everybody talked about his energy and passion and love for the game that shone through even on a backfield here in Arizona. And I think they felt very, very strong that because of that passion and energy, he had the chance to take those tools and turn them into super, super sharp skills. And obviously they're very accurate in their assessment from their scouting reports. On a personal level, my relationship started with Fernando. He was a 14-year-old tryout player. You may not remember this, in Juan Dolio on the field. He had a good projectable frame. He was very smart. He had a good head on his shoulders. You could tell that. He also ran about a 7.360 that day. He probably doesn't want to admit that. And I think it's really fun to be up here from a 14-year-old tryout player to now making a 14-year commitment. That's a bond that we share. And I think two things really under the radar. There's not a lot that's underrated about Fernando Tatis Jr. Everybody sees the flair and excitement that he plays the game with and the ability he has. But the number one thing to me is he has a burning desire to be the best. He's a vicious competitor, and he wants to be the best in the game. I think the second thing is he has a tremendous respect for the game of baseball. I think a lot of it was made last year, young players changing the game. the game of baseball, what results in success. It doesn't really change from era to era. Some of the styles change, maybe some of the skills may change at times, but he really respects, he respects greatness. He respects the people that have come before him. I think a lot of that credit goes to his family. I think the people that know Junior well, they know how tight he is with his family, his mom Maria, his dad Fernando Sr. They've done a great job raising him. His family's super important to him. And I think a lot of the credit too to our player development staff. Like when you get a talent like Fernando, at times it's very easy just to say hands off. Don't touch that guy. Just let him be. I think our player development staff did a great job of balancing the whole staff, but I just want to talk about Doug Banks, Anthony Contreras, Philip Wellman, Jay Young, that had him in the minor leagues, and then major league coaches like Andy Green, Damian Easley, Bobby Dickerson, and Jace Tingler. I honestly could go on and on, but that group helped take that great foundation that his parents and his family laid, and continue to help mold him. And I think that made it easy for us as an organization when we talk about making a 14-year commitment. We did really three unique things here over the last few years. One is trading an all-star caliber player. His dad loves this story, for a guy that had not played a professional game at the time. I think the second thing was 2019, spring training, actually, when we made the decision to make an aggressive promotion and put him on the major league roster opening day, and giving him an opening day assignment on the big league roster. I give a lot of that credit to what my special assistants at the time, uh, Manny Machado, Eric Hosmer, and Ian Kinsler. As players, they came into my office with about a week left before spring training, and they said, "You're absolutely crazy if you don't put this guy on our major league team to start." Him and Chris Paddock, actually. So I had to listen to those guys at that time. And obviously, the historic 14-year contract today is a unique moment. I think we're in an era and a generation in sports where players, um, they move from team to team. That's commonplace. In our, you also see players at times that are that building their brand or making a name for themselves is as important as winning rings. In our city, we've seen some great talents and some great players leave as they're entering their prime, or as they're getting to there, or even before they get to their prime. We've seen some teams leave our city, and I think it's been hard for our fan base or the sports fans in San Diego to bite down on consistency. And I think that's what makes today such a special day for the fans of San Diego, for the sports fans in San Diego. So I think they really appreciate and understand the impact of Fernando's decision today, wanting to be here, wanting to be a part of this, wanting to be a part of the city and the organization for a long time. And I think a lot of the credit goes to our ownership, goes to Peter Seidler. He makes it very clear. It's easy working for him. It's very clear what the message is, and that's to win championships. That's to do something great, and do something that's sustainable and year out. Have an opportunity to play in October. Um, I think Don Welke, who shaped a lot of our thoughts here in this organization for the few years he was here, he always talked about, first, if you're going to have a championship organization, you need people of ability, and then you need stability. And I think everything we've done on the baseball side and the business side here over the last 5 years, that's really that philosophy is really at its core. And when you have a franchise player and a franchise talent, and an owner that both share a vision to play on that big stage year in, year out, you have a chance to do something really special. So he has a lot of nicknames: El Nino, Bebo, Nan.
Say a few words.
Yeah. Wow. I just feel grateful for everything that has happened. First of all, I want to thank Peter for putting their part. Thank AJ. How they just brought me on to this life, how they teach me everything, and they always be my number one supporters, and they always have been there for me. I want to say thank you to everybody out there that has helped me in my career, every coach that have put their part um, um, on my side. They know who they are, and I just want to say thank you. And you know, I'm embracing this moment right now. It just feels great. It just feels great. You know, when you're just a kid dreaming on the field. When my dad was playing, and I see myself playing on the big leagues, being a winner, being one of the best of all the time, and now it's getting more complete. But I'm just grateful for everything, and to the city of San Diego. We're here to stay, and I love this city. I love the fans. I love the culture. I love the vibe, and I'm all about winning, and I'm all about winning in San Diego. So I feel like that's gonna be the big part over here.
All right. Thank you very much, Fernando. We'll now begin the Q&A portion of our program. If you have a question, please utilize the group chat feature, state your name and affiliation, and I'll call on you accordingly. We'll begin with questions in English, followed by a few minutes in Spanish as well. In the interest of time, we just ask that you limit to 2 questions per person. And we'll start with Bob Scanlon, Fox Sports San Diego.
Fernando, congratulations on this life-changing moment for you. Certainly well-deserved. And the pride that you must feel right now, what are you feeling, not only for yourself, but for your family as well?
It feels great. I was just a kid dreaming about this and all about this moment, and just seeing the fact that it's becoming true. Uh, it's just, I'll probably say, one of the best feelings of the world.
What does it mean to you to know that you're going to be
It just clicked that moment. I felt the love. It was mutual right away, and I said, this is home. This is home."
Congratulations, Fernando. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, next, we'll go to Annie Halbrin, SDUT.
Hey, Fernando, congratulations. Did you ever think it would happen this early in your career that you would get this kind of a contract?
For me, it's always about breaking those barriers. When since a young age, because I'm still a kid. I wasn't gonna say a kid, but since a young age, I was just always trying to break those barriers. I always say age is a matter of time. It's just a number. I feel like my capacity and the work I put in, and the trust they put in me, and I feel like it just feels all the way around, and I feel like it was the right time.
There will be kids that are 5 years old right now that will watch you their entire childhood through high school, see you with the same team. How important was that for your legacy to be able to have that and to provide that for kids?
That's one of the biggest key factors over here. Just being able to be one of those athletes that kids grow up to. It's just, those are one of the main things that keep me pushing every single day, and just give me more gas to my motor every single day. And like I put this on Twitter, but let's do it for the next generation, because they're gonna keep this game alive.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Fernando.
Next up, AJ Casavo, MLB.com.
Congrats, Fernando.
Thank you.
What did all the off-season moves, if anything, mean in your decision to sign, in terms of just the team's commitment to chasing that World Series that you want so badly?
They have made it clear the culture that we're trying to build over here is a winning culture, and we're going for it. Everybody's feeling it, and it was one of the big keys to it, because one of the biggest key factors over here is winning, and I feel everybody's on the same page. So that was one of the biggest moments over here.
14 years is a really, really long time. At what point did you start to contemplate that, like, this could be where you spend your entire professional career for the most part?
I was already thinking about that since I got to the big leagues. My dreams, the players I admire the most is this. They stay in one team. They build a culture, and they become winners with the team that they just give it the chance. And I'm over here trying to do the same. I'm embracing everything, and I'm just can't wait.
Kevin Acey, SDUT.
This question's for AJ, and I just wonder, what are the biggest factors? Why is it so important to have this particular player as the cornerstone of the franchise through 2034?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors. I mean, but obviously when you're talking about a five-tool shortstop, that plays up the middle of the field. He's a two-way player, offense and defense. He impacts the game every possible way. With his glove, his arm, his legs, his mind. And to me, like really I think the part that convinced us is you see the way he goes about it over the last few years. After his first year, he had a very good rookie year, and he wasn't satisfied. He wanted to have an even better sophomore season. And when we got beat last year in the playoffs, he was the first one to come forward and say, all right, now let's go get better. And, you see the passion, the love he has for the game of baseball combined with the talent. I think that was the essential part of our decision.
And for Fernando, the decision to do the big league advance contract, your decision alone, and what went into that?
It was just family decision. I'm just gonna call it that way.
Thanks.
All right, next up, we'll go to Marty Caswell, 1360.
Hi, Fernando. How big a factor was your relationship with AJ Preller from the get-go, and the fact that they did not manipulate your service time your rookie season?
I feel like since the minor leagues, AJ had put a trust in me, and every challenge that he put, I just embrace the moment and go through it and make it happen, right? But the key factor over here, has always been that trust, and the big part of it is I always show them that I'm always ready to challenge, and we just have built that trust, and hopefully we could keep growing even more, and just create a even better relationship.
And how much do you embrace the idea of not just being the face of the San Diego Padres, of San Diego sports, and also Major League Baseball with everything you've done endorsement-wise this offseason?
It's a really big factor. I'm humbling because of the fact, how people want me out there. But it's all of that is just more motivation because I know even more people are watching me. So I've just got to keep getting better and go every single day out there and show them who I am. And like I said, those are just things that just keep me pushing.
Thank you.
Bernie Wilson, AP.
Hey, Fernando, congrats.
Thank you.
Your statue, do you want it to be of you on defense or doing the bat flip?
I'm gonna put those numbers first, and then we can discuss about it. But I don't know. I feel maybe we can have 3 statues through different ways, but
Okay.
we will see what happens.
Okay, and a follow-up on Kevin's question. I know you might not want to go deep into the big league advance thing, but didn't you use that to build a field or something at your house to help you, develop a ball player?
It was a help. It was really helpful. But like I mentioned earlier, it was a decision from me and my family.
All right, thank you.
All right, next, we'll go to Jeff Sanders, SDUT.
Hey, Fernando, my question also comes about the BLA. Has this contract changed what you think about what you did for your career with that advance all those years ago?
No, no, definitely not. But like I mentioned earlier, it was a decision for me and my family.
Congratulations. So many people around the game of baseball have kind of explained why you're worth this contract of this size, but we haven't really heard why you think you might be worth the longest contract in baseball. What do you think?
Probably until I'm 40. So it's not going to be 14. Probably it's going to be even more.
One for AJ. When you think back to that James Shields trade, that when it happened, I remember the MLB.com story of the players involved in the trade. Fernando was the last name mentioned. He certainly wasn't the headline of that trade at that moment. How much did you know what you had gotten away with, so to speak, in that trade? And how much has he exceeded what you thought you got in that trade?
Yeah, and the deal was about Fernando. So I think, when you see those deals, Eric Johnson as the established professional when you make deals like that, to sit here and say, hey, we acquired a guy that could potentially play in Cooperstown at one day or win an MVP. I just know our scouting group and our front office felt like we had a player that potentially played out that way for us.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Darnay Tripp, NBC.
Hey, Fernando, congratulations. AJ just referenced your burning desire to be the best. Jace talked about a little bit earlier. To this point.
That's really simple. I'm just the same kid on the field. Nothing's gonna change. I'm playing the game I love, and I feel when you do the things, with passion and with love, I feel like it's gonna reward you. And I feel like people have seen it, how I play this game, and I'm just gonna be the same kid every single time.
And you very quickly kind of become the pulse and the heartbeat of this team, one of the leaders that was really evident, of course, in the postseason last year. Were you surprised at all at how quickly kind of that developed, and how much more do you kind of take on that role now?
That comes with time. That comes with time, and I still gotta to experience, and I'm really big on that, and that's one of my main things for me.
Thank you.
Next up, Jason Stark, The Athletic.
Fernando, congratulations. When you hear your name compared with LeBron or Patrick Mahomes, that suggests that you're a player who can have an impact not just on your team, but on your sport. I wonder what your reaction is when you hear that.
I just smile. I just smile because I know the greatness of LeBron. I know the greatness of Mahomes and the big things that are winners. There's a lot of things I still need to accomplish to be even close to those guys. But I feel like the main thing is gonna be winning, and I'm looking forward to that challenge, and I'm looking forward to be stay next to them. It's not about this year, and how they're mentioning. It's gonna be how they show, especially LeBron. LeBron is they show it every year, and that's gonna be the big thing for me, showing it every year.
Thank you.
All right, we can take a few more in English, then we'll switch over to Spanish. We'll go to Julian with Fox 5.
Hey, Fernando, congratulations. Preller mentioned about the statues at Petco Park, and you kind of mentioned that, but you get the big contract, you make the playoffs again. I guess, what do you see in the next 14 years that you need to do to get that statue that we're talking about?
I feel if I bring the same energy and the same passion every single day, that's gonna take care of itself. The same work ethic that I bring the past years. I feel like that's given me results, and like it's about being the same and even getting better. I feel like I'm gonna get better with time. I'm gonna still keep learning about myself, about the game, and from here and just we're going to the skyrocket.
And this organization's not just investing in you, but they brought in a lot of talent in this offseason. Where does this group kind of stack up? I know it's really early, but on teams that you've played and been a part of.
We have a lot of confidence on the guys that that came in. We have big dogs in the room, and we are trusting it. We know what we're capable of, what we can bring to the field. But the big part of it here is that everybody's working for it. Nobody know they know how hard the challenge is gonna be. So everybody's just been perfect, and trust me, it's gonna be fun at the end of the road.
All right, next we'll go to Jake, CBS.
the past has been for this.
Can you repeat that? You kind of cut out there at the end.
Sorry, I was curious, Fernando, what does it mean to you to help change the culture of sports within the city of San Diego?
It means a lot. It means a lot, especially if we're working to building a winning culture. That's the biggest key over here, and everybody's looking forward to it. And it means a lot for me to the city. Just what we're building over here, the culture, and it's just I love the city of San Diego, and it's gonna be a great time over here.
And then if I'm still coming through clear, can you kind of take me through that decision when AJ Preller brought up, you kind of had three options, year to year, the middle option, the long-term option. Between you and your family, what was the decision between the middle option and the long-term option? Because theoretically, you probably passed up money by not taking that middle option.
It's been my mindset since I started playing this game. I said I feel like the team that give me the chance, I will embrace it 100%. And why not? Just why not go to a statute contract? People are saying, oh, too many years, but I'm just love what I'm seeing. What we're gonna do, and just I want the statue on one team. I want to be able to stay in one team and build my legacy over here in San Diego.
All right, we'll do one last question in English. Go to Ron Blum with the AP.
Hi, Fernando. Congratulations. Looking back, would you recommend Big League Advance to other prospects who are similarly situated as you were back then? And now going forward, how much do you have to give of your earnings to the company?
That was a part for me, and I'm gonna stay the same way. It was a decision for me and my family.
All right, well, we're going to switch over to Spanish questions now. Both AJ and Fernando can take those for you. We'll start with Jorge Camacho.
¿Qué tal, Fernando? Felicidades por este contrato. Recuerdo hace meses que salió el reporte de unas condiciones así y que tú publicaste que, bueno, estoy en un lugar donde no se oye tanto los rumores. ¿Desde ahí te daba la idea de que venía ese contrato?
No había pasado nada todavía, pero, ¿sabes? Esas son cosas que la gente siempre van a traer su opinión, pero simplemente depende de uno si prestar atención.
También te están comparando ahora con Trevor Hoffman, Tony Gwynn, que han sido jugadores de élite en la franquicia. ¿Qué te dice para ti, por supuesto, estar en esa lista exclusiva del equipo de los Padres?
Un reto muy grande que adquirir y mucha responsabilidad.
La última para mí, hasta los niños, futuras generaciones, se ponen trenzas, se ponen el 23, decoran el cuarto. ¿Qué te dice para ti ver estas generaciones que te están siguiendo?
Es algo muy bonito, algo muy hermoso, de verdad que sí. Son cosas que siguen motivando a uno para seguir dando lo mejor de uno, y ya que tanta gente, especialmente tantos niños, están mirando, o sea, son cosas que llevan hasta comportarte mejor dentro y fuera del terreno, ya que hay una generación que admira y que va aprendiendo de uno, aunque sea de cosas buenas y cosas malas, así que hay que cuidarse aún más y seguir trabajando para ellos.
Gracias, felicidades.
Next, go to Daniel Schwartzman, Univision.
Gracias. Hola, Fernando, te has ganado ya la confianza, el respeto.
Yo pienso que eso viene del trabajo que uno va poniendo de liga menores y, ¿sabe? La decisión, la determinación que uno tiene al final del día es lo que conlleva a uno. Y simplemente, ¿sabe? Hemos venido jugando el juego que uno ama, haciéndolo con amor y con pasión. Y yo pienso que al final del día el juego te recompensa y te da todo esto.
Y una más, Fernando, un mensaje a la afición latina, ¿no? Que tanto te ve, tanto te admira y sobre todo te apoya a los latinos.
No, que gracias por el apoyo y que de verdad que le vamos a seguir trayendo un buen show. Hay una promesa de parte de mí, seguir trabajando y seguir dando lo mejor de mí cada día que salga al terreno y que nos sigan apoyando, que todo apenas comienza.
Next we'll go to Arlene Moreno.
Buen día, Fernando. Muchas felicidades por este contrato. Pues 14 temporadas, 14 años es mucho tiempo. ¿Cuál te gustaría que fuera tu principal legado, el legado de Fernando Tatis Jr. con los Padres?
Que fuimos ganadores, que fuimos un equipo ganador y que fuimos un equipo que le traímos vida a la ciudad. Yo pienso que eso van a ser los recuerdos, si logramos hacer eso, esos van a ser los recuerdos más bonitos que voy a poder llevar allá hacia mi jubilación.
Y si me permites una más, pues mencionaste, ¿no? Que ese primer turno al bat que tuviste y la reacción de la gente te dio esa sensación de hogar. Para ti, ¿qué factor es lo que convierte a San Diego como el lugar ideal para convertirlo en tu hogar?
Todo lo que conlleva la organización, lo que ella y el dueño han ido construyendo y demostrándolo, que una cultura ganadora y simplemente, ¿sabes? La decisión se tornó fácil. Es una ciudad que amo, una fanaticada increíble y simplemente, ¿sabes? Se convirtió fácil al final del día poder decir que sí y de verdad que simplemente agradecido por todo.
Muchas gracias.
Next up, we'll go to Enrique Rojas, ESPN. Enrique, are you there?
Hola, Bebo, felicidades por el contrato. Lo primero es cómo tú lograste mantener un contrato histórico y además permitió eso en medio de las negociaciones.
Yo no creo que ellos estaban tan de acuerdo, pero ¿qué te digo? Al final del día, ¿sabes? La pelota es lo que uno ama, la pelota invernal, amo jugar ya en República Dominicana, ¿sabes? Poder darle también ese show a la fanaticada de la República. Pienso que ellos también se lo merecen. Y nada, simplemente estamos enfocados en seguir jugando, seguir mejorando, que por eso fue la parte por la cual decidí jugar. Pienso yo que había un par de cositas que había que seguir trabajando. Pero nada, el enfoque se mantuvo. Yo he aprendido a mi corta edad cómo aprender a separar cosas, especialmente cuando entro en un terreno de juego y al final del día se tornó fácil.
Si ganamos un serie mundial, tiene la permisión para jugar ya. No,
Okay. Esa es una tremenda noticia.
Es un compromiso grande.
Otro acuerdo.
Fernando, cuando un equipo firma a un pelotero por un contrato que es el tercer mayor de la historia, básicamente está comprando una carrera del Salón de la Fama. ¿Tú lo ves así, el compromiso de ese tamaño?
Claro que sí, claro que sí. Esa es la meta. Aparte del Salón de la Fama, ser un ganador y a trabajar, a seguir enfocado. Aún falta mucho para eso, pero eso se logra con el día a día, trabajando día a día y, ¿sabes? Si tomamos carta en el asunto y seguimos trabajando, pienso que al final eso se va a poner solo ahí.
¿Ganar y llegar al Salón de la Fama?
Exacto.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll go to Manuel Zepeda.
Thank you. Gracias, buenos días, felicidades, Fernando. Y bueno, cambiando un poquito la dinámica, ¿cómo has sentido la pretemporada en este arranque allá en Peoria, dadas las condiciones en las que estamos todos viviendo, ¿no? Y tú sabes, los protocolos de sanidad y todo lo demás. ¿Cómo ves este arranque allá en Peoria?
Algo un poquito diferente, tú sabes, con la cuestión del COVID, pero, ¿sabes? definitivamente se extraña a los fanáticos. Ellos siempre lo he dicho, ellos son una gran parte de esto, pero al final del día seguimos enfocados. Yo pienso que cada jugador que está dentro del clubhouse sigue enfocado y todo el mundo estamos en la misma meta para ser un equipo ganador. Y, ¿sabes? Como te dije al principio, un poquito diferente, pero todo el mundo está enfocado en el trabajo.
La siguiente es para AJ Preller. AJ, cuando platicamos hace unos años, tenías un proyecto y parece que se está haciendo realidad este proyecto. Todavía esperamos algo más de ti.
Y yo no sé qué él dice. Si te quieres traduzca para mí. Dime en español, pero más despacio, dime eso.
Como tú has ido construyendo este equipo y como al final ya tú has subido y te has convertido uno de los general managers de como más grande que hay en el juego, y que si esperamos más, like you add more to the team, or are you gonna set the
Okay.
level
No,
over there?
y nosotros, gusto al equipo que tenemos ahora, y nunca decir que tú no vas a buscar por otro talento, otra gente que puede ayudar al equipo, pero ahora estamos listos para practicar, estamos listos por la temporada y tenemos mucha confianza en los peloteros que están en el locker room ahora. Y yo sé que el manager, que Tingler y todo el grupo le gusta mucho el equipo que están allá. Tenemos mucha confianza y estamos listos para empezar la pretemporada y la temporada también. Gracias.
Gracias.
All right, we have time for one more in Spanish. We'll go to Tony Alvarez.
Thanks, Craig. Fernando, felicidades. Primero que nada, preguntarte, mucho se ha hablado desde hace varios meses, no solamente en esta offseason, frases como Fernando es la nueva cara del béisbol. Fernando es la nueva cara del béisbol de Grandes Ligas. ¿Qué sientes cuando escuchas eso y cómo mantener los pies en la tierra? Porque mencionaba Jay Stingler hace unos días que tu combinación de emoción, de estar jugando y bromeando y pasarla bien y de repente play ball y te enfocas, todo eso te hacía un gran pelotero y comprometido. ¿Cómo mantenerte así?
Es una responsabilidad muy grande, ¿sabes? Dicho lo que mencionaste, conlleva una responsabilidad muy grande, pero pienso yo que con dedicación y, ¿sabes? Con enfoque, con responsabilidad y seguir trayendo el mismo amor y la misma pasión por el juego, ¿sabes? Todo eso se va a encargar solo y la gente lo va a ver y la gente va a empezar a hablar. Pienso yo que, ¿sabes? Es un dicho muy grande porque estamos representando el juego que uno ama, el juego que significa tanto para muchas personas. Y nada, el ejemplo de mí, ellos van a ver el mejor ejemplo, o sea, un hombre joven que sigue trabajando, que sigue luchando por sus sueños, con el mismo amor y con la misma pasión. Y yo pienso que al final del día todo eso se va a tomar cargo por sí solo.
Gracias, Fernando. Y AJ, una rápida sobre el mismo tema. ¿Qué tan fuerte liderazgo de Fernando, tan joven, te hizo tomar junto con la oficina la decisión de un contrato tan largo? Porque todos dicen, ¿no? Muy joven, pero con una capacidad de liderazgo importante, pensando también en 14 años mantenerlo.
Ay, yo sé que Fernando está joven, pero él tiene, número uno, él tiene mucho talento, pero más importante, y tú puedes ver, él está enfocado, qué él quiere hacer en la carrera, qué él quiere hacer por los próximos 14 años, y tenemos muchísima confianza y en la persona. Eso es la cosa más importante, porque él tiene una familia que ayuda a él todo el tiempo, y también él tiene más maduro, él tiene mucho en la cabeza que van a ayudar a él en los próximos 14 años.
Gracias, Fernando. Felicidades.
All right. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you very much, AJ. And congratulations, Fernando. This officially concludes our press conference. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.